just a little bit of wiggle on the toes, especially if they're cold. Perhaps, I mean, if you are cold, you could take a little bit of a jazz walk. So just walk through whilst we do our exercises for pelvic floor TVA. Just take your shoulders down and back, length at the back of the neck, tuck the pelvis under. Feet hip width apart. Keep walking if you're cold, but otherwise, pull in 100% pelvic floor TVA and then a slow release. And we're going to do 10 of these. So in and out and in, out and in, and out and in, and out, in, and out, in, and out. Try not to hold the breath, and in, out. 3 more, and in, and out, and in, and out. Last one, and in, and out. 50%, so there's a little bit of pull, but not so much having to concentrate all your energy on that. So just a little bit of warm up before we take on to the weight. So one arm up, level with shoulder. You all know this one. Ear down into shoulder for the neck release. Reaching to the side for the shoulder glide. Recenter. Reach up. Try and keep the pelvis tucked under. Then over into your side bend. Hand on hip. Now a little bit different. Bend the knees. Sweep this forwards like a sundial. So see if you can maybe brush fingertips down onto the mat to recenter. Then we go to the other side. So ear down to shoulder, neck release, shoulder glides, recenter, reach up, side bend. You can really take your time on this move. Now bend knees, then just go with the flow, reach it down, forwards, so you're coming into like a forward fold, and then you can bring it up. Just 2 more. So neck release, shoulder glides, draw in that core, reach up, side bends, then bend knees, start to breathe out, come into a bit of a flow, a bit of a release, bring it round. Last one. Neck release, shoulder glide. I've kind of missed this one actually this month, because obviously this month I've done a lot of just going straight into the free weights. And I've missed doing a little bit of that kind of flow stuff. Okay, recenter. So we will go to the weights now. So pick up the weights. Going to go through about 10 exercises with weights, but hopefully they should balance out, because we go sort of arms and then legs and then things like that. So take the shoulders down and back, tuck the pelvis under, 8 side bends. So just reaching down, draw in the core. Just see where your shoulders are at. So just try not to let your shoulders dip back or too far forwards. Just 3 more. Breathing in at the centre. Breathing out as you go down. Then we're going to go to our squat. So check your feet are parallel. Engage the arches underneath the feet. Go to a front raise. And then lateral raise. Now, if you like the one of each, take the one of each. So this is all stuff we've been working on this month. So up to you whether you want to go through. So just keep an eye on what's happening with the knees. Check they're not pronating. You're squeezing glutes on that lift. Don't forget to breathe. Drawing in the core. Keep the shoulders down and back. And it is really tempting to look down on squats. So just see, every now and again, just try and look forwards. Keep breathing out. Coming up to 4 more. Quite a lot, I know. Just went through all those arms 8 times. Last one, coming up to standing, and it's easy to rest. So just allow the weights to kind of just free fall around the body. Catch your breath. Soften knees. Shoulders just relaxed. You can look behind as well, so you can bring in the head as well if you want the neck. Do engage the core though a little bit still. Just catching the breath. So going back to some arm work, take a really nice wide stride, and you don't have to have the feet dead parallel, they can turn out a little bit. Then take like a squat, so like a sumo squat, like sumo wrestler. Now then take the big circles in front. So last week we just did this one standing, so taking it into the squat. You could just take one weight with this if this is a little bit too much for one way. Just drawing that really big circle. Keep that pelvis tucked under, keep pulling in on the core. Then you're going the other way around. Stay down in the squat, so it's a static squat, just upper body is moving. Last one. So coming out of there to the single leg deadlift with the single shoulder press. So you will recognise this one. So reach up with one hand, then take that down towards the knee or the floor and recenter. Now you could swap legs each time. You got the opposite hand coming down to the opposite foot. So reach up one hand up to the ceiling. That same hand goes down to the floor, leg goes back. 8 on one side. Or alternate, go for 16. Good balance work this one, so engage work with the big toe for your balance. Engage the arch underneath the foot. Squeeze in the glutes, pull in the core. Do think about the eye gaze here, so look forwards when you're upright in your shoulder press. Oh, I just swapped my arms over then, gosh, coordination. And then when you look, when you're taking the weight down to the floor, look down. So engaging the glutes, that glute to hamstring link here is really getting strengthened. A little bit of a softening on the knee, don't hyperextend or straighten the leg too much. Just putting that little knee lift in when you do your shoulder press. I've lost count. Really got to get better at counting, haven't I? It's because I'm talking. I'm in words mode, not numbers, when I'm talking. Should we go 2 more? Feels about right. Then to the scapular set, so just standing on the mat, hip width. Shoulders down and back. Now do check you've tucked in your pelvis again, pull in the core. Just taking the weights behind you. Now watch the wrists. If I show you a bit closer, try not to be in that position. So just kind of engage the here, so that you're not in that position. We're actually a little bit more tighter. Working like that. You could add in a little bit of balance. You could just take a little leg lift if you wanted to, and then switch that over. Or if you just want to work with static, then you can really focus on tucking the pelvis under, shoulders down and back. So again, it's your choice. Length at the back of the neck. So you might be looking down at the screen, but just have a go at finding that length, crown of head going up to the ceiling. Check the elbows are in your sides, they're not forwards, they're not dipped forwards, so do think about the alignment there. Just a couple more. So a little bit of work with balance here. So you're going to go high knee, then take a bicep curl. 2, 3, 4, and then switch 2, 3, and 4. So if you can just kind of keep working with this high knee, The hardest bit is actually when you just switch that over. I'm going to come off the squidgy mat, see if that helps to be on the actual floor. Again, try not to be in that position on the wrist. So think about kind of being a bit stronger in the wrist and then we're engaging with the bicep. Shoulders down and back, again pulling in the core. So another little thing you can do here is just switch. So you're holding the weights like this. So you're going in that position, which is a little bit more like triceps. Again, stay strong in the wrist. Keep the shoulders down and back. Do your little switches, use your big toe, use your pelvic floor. Squeeze your glutes, try and get this balance. Last one. Okay, last move with the mat, and then we're going to go to the chair. So take a nice wide stride. Again, you can have your feet turning out slightly. Bend in the knee, take the weights down, or one or the opposite weight down more than the other weight. Then take you can take a star, so both arms up, then down to the other side. So you could take a double shoulder press in there. Again, pulling in the core, leaning forwards into this move. So I'm literally bending in the elbows and pressing the weights. I know you can't see me in the film. Just pressing up to a shoulder press in the centre. Do check you tuck your pelvis under, because sometimes when we lift the weights over our head, we arch in the lower back. So just pull in the core, tuck pelvis under. You should get that quite nice hamstring stretch on the inner thigh going down, strengthening the knee. Going down to the foot. Just go 3 more. Hopefully getting a bit of heat in the body today after this warm up. Okay, so the next exercise, I'm going to take it seated, so I'm going to grab my chair. You could do it seated, or you could try it standing. So your choice. It's a shoulder exercise. Core pulled in, pelvis tucked under. So we're sat here and we're going to go out for a chest press and then up for a shoulder press, in, together. Very simple. It's called the Arnold press. Chest press and then lift up. Length at the back of the neck, crown of head goes up to ceiling. Now do keep an eye on what's happening here with your back, so you're not arching in your back, so tuck pelvis under. Sometimes we sit in chairs, so you might notice this if you work and you're at a chair, we can arch in lower back, we totally lose neutral, so it's actually quite challenging doing this one sitting down. Just to keep an eye on where neutral's at. Arms getting suitably tired. Woo. Depends how heavy your weights are really, doesn't it? We'll go 2 more. Okay, so pop the weights just down. Be careful when you put them down as well. Sometimes it's a bit dodgy putting the weights down when you're sat on a chair. So, single leg exercise now. So you can do I'll leave it up to you to your choice. You could do the step back lunge, which we did, a few months ago. I'm going to do the chair exercise. You could do the stairs, if you like the dips on the stairs from a few weeks back. You could just do single leg squats. So like that. So I'm going to leave it up to you. 10 on each side, and then see if you can alternate and go one on one side and then the one on the other side, whichever way you're doing, and do 10 like that. So it'll be 10 on each side, and then see if you can do an alternating 10. Okay, so whichever choice you're doing, off you go. So I'm just watching you because I'm just seeing what choice people go with. So if you're doing those lunges, just really watch the hips don't collapse in the middle. So when you're coming up, think about sending the hips forwards and up, pulling in the core. Yeah, the chair exercise, you're really thinking about the knee. Use the big toe, the arch underneath the foot to control that exercise. Try not to plop down on the chair if you can, so almost like you're like a feather. Oh, I like that idea that my bum's a feather. Coming down and just drifting onto that chair, and then the wind's just going to blow it back off. When I'm running in places I shouldn't and I have to lift Zola up over a fence, I always say, light as a feather, light as a feather. And then I pick her up and I'm like, oh my god. She's had too many biscuits. So stopping legs as well if you're ready to stop legs. So if you come back into the room, you could try one of we're still on the people in the chairs are still doing chairs. You might want to try one of the other options, like a lunge or something. Just to try something new. And then you've got the alternating one, and if you're in the chair, you can really kind of, sit down, both legs come up, then go straight in. It's just very much more dynamic. So then you have to recenter the balance very quickly. I'm on 2 more. I don't know how anyone else is getting on. Great, okay. Let's go down into the mat then. We're going to do our downward dogs. So find your own way down, whether you want a slow roll down. Dive onto the mat. Cartwheel onto the mat. Backflip. Just take a nice pedal through a downward dog. Think about what we've been doing this month is really working on like stretching around the hips as well. So that walk, the crossover walk's quite nice. If you liked that, put that one in. Quite a good way of stretching through the calf muscles, sending the hips up. So think about the stretch on the backs of the shoulders, get the head in between the arms, think about sending the hips up to the ceiling, the chest towards the thighs. So just centre the feet again, hip width, and then we're going to step forwards, left foot, we'll go for a nice high lunge. Just take a stretch to begin with, so take the arms up over the head, reach the fingertips up to the ceiling. You should get that kind of hip flexory stretch, so try and square the hips to the front of the mat, push through that back heel. Engage with the feet, so scrunch up the toes a little bit for the balance. Taking a big deep breath. Then step forwards to the front of your mat. Now see if you can take 5 heel lifts. Now I normally do this earlier on. So see if you can just take a nice heel lift balance 5 times. Use your big toe, engage the core. Then cross over the legs. I'm going to show you forwards on so you can see. Cross over the legs. Reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Interlink the fingers so that the palms are facing each other. Take a really big stretch up. Then release the hands. Bend in the knees as much as you feel comfortable with. See if you can just scoop down and lift back up. Okay, then step back to your downward dogs. We're going to go do that on the other side. Just take a moment, deep breath in dog. Send the hips up. Big deep breath in as you breathe out. Step forwards with the right foot. Take that high lunge. Reach the arms up. Square the hips to the front of the mat. Just enjoy that really nice stretch on the front of the left leg. Engage with the toes, hold this balance. Eye gaze forwards. Again, just taking a deep breath. Get ready to step forwards then, and then go into those heel lifts. 5 lifts. Engage the core. See if you can relax the shoulders. See if you can bring the eye gaze forwards instead of down. Then again, cross over the feet, reach the arms up, interlink the fingers, take a really nice big stretch. Breathing out, release the hands, soften the knees, look back towards the knees, so chin goes into chest. Bit of a scoop, lifting up, then just step back. Last time up in dog. If you can, bring it down into a dolphin. So elbows coming down onto the mat, just sending the heart higher than the head. Blood rush to the brain, very invigorating. Send the hips up to the ceiling. Take a deep breath here.